What's good? Prince Sports here. Yo, NBA Finals. They're over. Now it comes down to the nitty gritty. Now I hope my Sentinel doesn't keep getting bucked off, so I'm gonna have to probably move to a different spot. Every time I try to scream from here, it acts up. So let me try to move to a different spot. Maybe that's a warning telling me to move to another spot, right? So let's do that. Let's try to move this around. Uh, let's see what we got here. Much better. All right, much better. Now, before I even kick off everything, did y'all see the Delonte Wilder fight? Boy went down like a sack of potatoes in the 5th round, and he just stood there laying in the ring with his legs spread open. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? But never mind. That homeboy, he needs to retire. Delonte Wilder needs to retire. Crazy. So, we're going to talk about something I didn't even get to harp on a little bit, which was Minnesota and Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards has this new commercial when there's a machine. This is an Adidas sneaker commercial. There's a machine, and the machine is taking receipts. All right? And the receipts is, oh, Anthony Edwards is not a leader. Anthony Edwards is not this. Anthony Edwards is not that. Carmelo Anthony said this about you, blah, 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 right? And he's taking down receipts and say, you know what? I'm going to prove them all wrong. I'm working. Well, they had to go to another spot, but this is acting up. But Mr. Anthony Edwards, if you let's move to another spot. You know what? Because for some reason, my signal is not working. I don't like that. I pay full for the internet. I pay full money for my internet, and it's not working. Fuck is wrong with you, Spectrum? I have to go into one corner just for you to work properly, right? That's ridiculous. I pay money for this damn shit. You mean to tell me I should be able to stream from anywhere in my apartment? But anyway, Mr. Anthony Edwards, right? You want to prove to everybody, you want to prove everybody wrong. My best bet is don't tell us, show us. I'm gonna say it again. Don't tell us, show us. All right. 22 years old, you got a lot of NBA basketball left to be played, right? So go out there and earn it. Now, as far as Minnesota goes, now I'm not hyped for men's U.S. basketball. As far as Minnesota goes, Anthony Edwards, he's the piece that you want to build around. I don't know if you want to build around Karl Anthony Towns. But then when I think about it, who could you trade Karl Anthony Towns for? Right? But I'm starting to think, fam, that Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns duo may not be good enough to win the championship because the West is going to get better. Right? Hold on. Now, according to Mr. Anthony Edwards, he's saying, hey, we'll be back. You know, yes, you will be back. But question is, how would you be back? Because Memphis is going to get better. New Orleans is going to get better. OKC is going to get better. How is Minnesota going to get better? That's the question. But if you ask me, either Karl Anthony Towns or Rudy Gobert has to be traded. They're going to have to keep Anthony Edwards, but build the right team around Anthony Edwards, right? He's almost coming into his prime. He's 22. About 2 more years, 3 more years, when he's 25, he's going to be in his peak prime. So you better use him wisely. And Anthony Edwards wants the bag. So you're going to have to pay that guy max dollars, max contract, right? So that's what you're going to have to do for Anthony Edwards. But here's another problem. You're in Minnesota, shitland Minnesota. Nobody wants to be in Minnesota. It's not a huge market. They can't afford most of those players that's going to be on their roster for years to come, right? Because it's a small market. And the new collective bargaining is going to prevent you from keeping most of those guys. Hold on. So Minnesota is not the Lakers. Minnesota is not New York. They're not a huge market. Now, what if Anthony Edwards get more shine, be seen more, right? He has all the commercials, but can he be the face of the league? I don't know about that. He may be a top 5 player, you know? No, you're going to get role players this season. That's all you need. It always comes down to just role players for you guys. You don't need a third superstar. You don't need none of that. You just need to keep your depth, you know? You came close to beating the defending champs. Every game was almost close. You had a blowout win on them. So, I mean, and people were saying you guys could have beat any team in the West outside of Denver. So, you know, whatever. But if you want to build around Anthony Edwards, it's Karl Anthony Towns, that dude. He's off and on. He's inconsistent. He's a little bit sloppy. He's injury prone. Do you trade him for some better value to please Anthony Edwards? Because you got to be real careful. If you don't please Anthony Edwards, he could be stuck in a Joel Embiid situation, right? Where all the talent just keeps leaving. They already paid McDaniels money. He getting the bag. They got Nazi Reed, right? He's a 6th man of the year. He got a bag. So what do you do with that franchise? You know, he may go off into other. They may break that whole team up. That's the problem with the NBA. They can't keep a nucleus together. So this is why I said this was one of the few shots that they had to try to win the championship. They may not be here next year because the West is going to get better, right? The West is going to get better. And you got to look out for the Memphis, the New Orleans. They're going to get better. John Morant is coming back. The West is going to get more deeper. Denver is going to get more better, right? You don't know what the Lakers are going to do. So nothing's promised in a loaded, tough Western Conference. You know what I'm saying? And Anthony Edwards got problems of his own. He don't know how to fight, do double teams. He's not used to having a team plan to stop him because he was never viewed as a franchise player until this year, right? He was always in the shadow of a Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns was supposed to be that dude. He was supposed to be their go-to guy. And now the momentum switched over to Anthony Edwards, who was also a #1 draft pick in 2020. All right. So they got a lot of thinking to do. Knicks going to go to the finals next year. I don't know. I don't think, even if a healthy Knicks team, I don't think we got what it takes to get there anyway. We just don't got enough. We missing a superstar. We don't have enough star power to get to the NBA Finals. It's just as simple as that. We just don't get it. Right? But what you have in this era of basketball is something fascinating. Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Steph Curry. Who else? Who else? That's just to name a few, right? That's the older generation, right? Now you got the new generation competing with the older one. That's DeLuca, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, the Joker, right? That's the new era of sensational players, SGA, right? So those guys are competing with the yesteryear guys, and it's a seesaw. It's going back and forth. You don't know who's going to be considered the best. Paul George would be on the old school side, Octavius. But he should leave, though. He should leave. Wemby has lots of potential. He's on the new school side, obviously. LeBron don't need help. He just need role players. The fact that you even asking for a star or a superstar is kind of crazy because you shouldn't be asking for that. You're just going to have to win like everybody else doing. Nobody has a super team they winning with 2 all-stars and role players. You're just going to have to win like everybody else. No cheat code. Simple. Kyrie and Luka are the new Batman and Robin. That's kind of quite interesting because if Kyrie wins a second championship, he won a second championship as a sidekick again, which should be a little bit different towards his legacy, right? He's going to have to step to the forefront and be a number one if he wants to be mentioned among some of the greats, because 2 championships as a sidekick don't hold that much value compared to a franchise player winning multiple championships. Well, he should. He should. Durant should run it back. Well, you get paid all that money. Keep your ass where you're supposed to be. But the new generation is upon us. So we got the NBA Finals. Boston Celtics versus Dallas Mavericks. Now, I'll say this. This may be one of the lowest rated NBA Finals of all time. I think Kyrie will attract some people, but I noticed Luka don't get a lot of fans. A lot of people don't like Luka, except rather you're a white person or a white European. But the American audience don't gravitate towards Luka, which isn't new because Americans don't gravitate towards foreign players very well. Okay, they just don't have the spark or the it factor that attracts American viewers, right? So it's hard for the face of the league to be a European player or a player from another country, period. So Jason Tatum, he don't get superstar entertainment. Now, he is a superstar on paper, but he don't have superstar value. Which what I mean by that is he don't make you want to watch basketball, okay? He could come off as boring. But the man he turned Boston Celtics to a title contender for over 6 seasons, right? Every single year, the Boston Celtics are a top-seeded team for the most part. That's how you become a superstar. Every year, he's a top 10 player. He should have been mentioned in MVP conversations more than not, right? He should have been mentioned in the MVP conversations instead of Luka. Luka was a what, 5th seed, 6th seed? Jason Tatum was a number 1 seed. They had the best record in the NBA. He won 60 games. I mean that could be a reason, but the Celtics gonna have if they take one of these guys out the series, they're gonna lose. Dallas will lose this series if Kyrie is not Kyrie and Luka is not Luka. So this goes back to my video that I made. Who is more harder to stop, Kyrie Irving or Luka? We about to find out on the biggest stage there is. Who's going to be the guy that's more harder to stop, if any? Offensively, who is more harder to stop, Luka or Kyrie Irving? Somebody gonna have to take if one of those players take a backseat, Dallas will lose this series. Now, what if you shut Luka down or lower his numbers and make him a non-factor? He just get empty stats that don't have an impact on the game. But Kyrie is cooking and the role players get shut down. They're going to lose this series. They need both of those guys to play good. Yeah, I remember the Three Stooges videos. Oh, my God. You go back to that. Yeah. Well, at least one of them stooges is now in the NBA Finals. And please stop celebrating players going to the NBA Finals. That's not an award. Okay? Nobody cares. Win. The point of being in the playoffs is to win a championship. It's not to go to the Western Conference Finals. It's not to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's not to win the second round. It's not to have 60-point games. It's not to have 50-point games. It's to win. Okay, only one team can win. That means there will be 15 losers. It don't matter who got where and lost where. You still lost. What's the difference between losing in the first round and losing in the third round? You still didn't win a championship for that year. You still lost. Yeah, they did pick up some good moves defensively because Luka and Kyrie don't play no defense. So what they needed was role players to make up for the fact that they don't play no defense. And that's what they get. So that leaves them to be the two-headed duo of just scoring. Kyrie Irving and Luka got freedom to score that basketball. You know? No, you can't put Al Horford on Luka. You're going to have to probably put Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum going to have to take turns guarding Luka. But if Kristaps Porzingis come back, that's an 18 to 20-point guy that you have to deal with. Okay, do you live in Dallas, Ak? Maybe because you live in Dallas, because a lot of people here just don't like Luka. Okay, yeah. Well, a lot of people on the Boston Celtics is inconsistent, but thank God they got a lot of depth and a lot of pieces to make up for it. Right? Boston Celtics leads the league in three-pointers. You guys didn't know that, right? So unlike Minnesota, they get these open looks, they're going to knock them down. Minnesota didn't knock down those open threes, but Boston probably will. Now, if Boston turns this to a three-point shooting contest, they're going to lose. Jason Tatum got to attack the basket and stop shooting threes so much. But it's on him. You don't want to go down 0-2 in the NBA Finals. You want to lose your second NBA Finals? Yeah, and Porzingis could shoot that ball. He could shoot that thing. So if you got Porzingis shooting threes, tall, can't be blocked, it's going to be a long night. No, he didn't. Yeah, he got a couple. It's called Anthony Edwards. Michael Jordan's son is called Anthony Edwards. Then he got a Hinton son called Jimmy Butler. He got a lot of sons in the NBA. I call them Jordan hybrids. No, Jordan clones. The Jordan clone wars. Now, if Tatum folds and disappears in the NBA Finals, woo, that still doesn't, it won't change the fact that he's a superstar on paper, but he'll be a choking superstar, which is something you don't want to have. Remember, a superstar is made in the regular season. He's not made in the postseason. LeBron was a superstar before he even won a championship. Jordan was a superstar before he even won a championship. Shaq was a superstar before he even won a championship. We could go on and on with it. Dirk Nowitzki was a superstar before he ever won a championship. All right? You get that in the regular season. And did I mention Jason Tatum in the regular season is damn near a top 5 player in the league? He was considered to be a MVP candidate. He's a real MVP candidate, unlike Luka. You just put Luka in there because of his plays and his stats. But he don't win enough in the regular season. And that's how you become a superstar. But if he wins this year's championship and next season he's title favorites and they're the number 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed, then he'll be a bona fide superstar because he'd be in a true MVP race. He'll have his team top seed. They'd be title contenders. That's the mark of a superstar. And he have a cheat code because he would have had a championship already. But he got to win first. Yes, I would definitely. No, you can't pit Tatum. You can't pit Brown and Tatum on Luka. I mean on Kyrie. They're bigs. That's what Drew Holiday is there for. What's good, y'all? But yeah, Boston is a different beast. Boston shoot threes better than Minnesota a little bit. And Boston has a little more depth offensively than Minnesota do. The problem with Minnesota, you've seen, they rely too much offensively on Anthony Edwards. The rest of them guys is just too inconsistent. That's why I don't know if staying in Minnesota is good for Anthony Edwards in the long run, because Minnesota's a small market. They can't get probably more talent around Anthony Edwards. Yeah, he was. And he already won an MVP, which is a superstar given award most of the time. But my point is, superstars are made in the regular season. They usually win championships when they're already a superstar. They're already in a prime already. No, they're already a top 5 player. No. If you're not consistently a top 5 player, you're not really a superstar. And your team don't compete for a title every year. But all this takes place in the regular season. Do I think Luka could pull a Dirk? Well, it's different now because I think this is like 50-50. There's no true underdogs in this NBA series. You know, they both seem a little even Steven. You know, it just comes to who gets hot. You know, now on paper, Boston do get a little more depth. They got about seven to 8 players that can average double digits. You know. Yeah. And he may. Brandon hit it right on it now. Minnesota's a small market. Anthony Edwards is getting all these commercials. right? His name is ringing bells. It's going to ring bells next season. Of course, he's going to want to go to probably a bigger market. And he's going to realize Minnesota don't got enough money to afford me and another star. Hold on for a minute, y'all. So, yeah, that's the situation. That's just what's going down. You know, you got Boston, you got Miami, you got New York, you got LA. For a young guy like Anthony Edwards, he got the charisma, he got the personality. He probably want to go to a bigger market. You know, Brandon is definitely right on that. Because Minnesota going to offer him the max. But then, Brandon, what else are they going to offer Anthony Edwards? Yeah, take this max contract, but all the talent around you is going to be gone. We can't afford Nazi Reed. We can't afford Cat Williams. We can't afford none of the supporting cast that you got. And trade, you got to trade Rudy Gobert. You're going to have to keep up with the Joneses, especially in the Western Conference. You can't come back with the same team when everybody keep bouncing from team to team. He said, I see why. Yes, there's no more super teams. That's good. But let's not speak too soon, Octavius. Maybe there may be one. So that's the glaring difference of what's going on here, right? Jimmy Butler. Pat Riley said, I don't want to pay you no damn max. You don't even play basketball for a full season. So Jimmy Butler may leave. Jimmy Butler left Philly for the warmness of Miami. See, when they have options and they could go from team to team, of course they're going to leave cold ass 9 to 5, grinded out Philadelphia for Palm Beaches, beautiful women, Miami. Of course he's going to leave for that. And you already know the situation with some of these young players. Anthony Edwards paid a girl to have an abortion. I think she was a porn star or an Instagram model. So just imagine the trouble he'd get into if he was in Miami. Nobody want to be the Lakers coach because LeBron is just going to get them fired. And their reputation is going to go down the drain. That's what's going to happen. But back to the NBA Finals. Right here, I'm going to make my prediction. Woo. I got to stick with it. I'm going to say Dallas in 6. I can't change up now because that's it. The title was going to come out the West. So Dallas in 6. It might go 7 games, but I know Boston is going to give 1 game to Dallas. Boston played non-daisical. They come out with no urgency sometimes. Boston will give you a game. They disappear for a couple of times. Boston does disappear. All right? They disappear against the Pacers. Okay? They just get bored. They disappear. They got short attention spans. They belong in special ed. Jason Tatum. You're right. Jason Tatum could fold. He could fold like a cheap pair of pants. That's right. With the wrinkles on it. Give a game or two to the Mavs and see what happens. Go and ask Minnesota how that turned out. Minnesota gave up game 1, game 2, which they should have won. Now they had to play catch up, and it was too late because all the momentum went to Dallas. But Jason Tatum better not go 0-2. He gonna be Jason Tatum because he disappears. Sometimes he's not even a factor. Well, I don't know if this is a Minnesota type of thing, because if you told me Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns had to average 28 to 32 to beat Dallas, then yeah, that's true. Because it came down to the best players on the other team versus the best players on the other team. Who could outplay who? Kyrie Irving and Luka outplayed Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns more times than they outplayed them. That was the problem. One game they had Kyrie Irving had 33, Luka had 33. The other game, the blowout, Luka had 36, Kyrie had 36. They outplayed the best two players on Minnesota. That's what it came down to. Drew Holiday's defense could be a little overrated. It's going to get put to the test. It's going to get put to the test against Kyrie Irving because Kyrie Irving got handles, and there ain't nothing Drew Holiday going to do to steal the ball from Kyrie. Wow. Anthony Edwards admitted he didn't train. Well, he better erase that Adidas commercial. He talking about he going to be back next season. He going to prove the doubters wrong. You better get your ass in the gym and work on something for next season. Anthony Edwards got a couple things to learn. Learn how to beat a double team. Learn how to score effectively when the team needs you the most. Right? Learn how to not to defer to your teammates. You got a lot of learning to do. I do think he got a lot of potential, though. Yeah, Octavius, he acted like he gonna average 40. He better do something. He better be a top 5 player next year, and Minnesota better be a 1 to 3 seed. He better play 65 games and be a legit MVP candidate. Talking the way you talk. This man made commercials. Say he keeping receipts. Okay, keep that same energy when the season starts. I love the enthusiasm and the shit talking from Anthony Edwards. I do love that. You know, it does remind me of the young Kobe's and the young Jordans. But the thing is, Jordan kept quiet. He used his motivation, but he didn't make commercials telling you he was going to be back next year. He kept his mouth shut, and he used all the negative criticism to his advantage. You ever heard the quote, Jordan took it personal? I don't know if Anthony Edwards takes it personal or he just takes it as entertainment because you keep laughing. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's just life though, man. You're going to have to get compared to a certain play. He did get that Michael Jordan starter kit. Octavius, watch his moves and watch Jordan's moves. He stole some of Jordan's moves. That boy was watching Come to Fire With Me DVDs. He was watching Jordan Airtime DVDs. He watched the whole Jordan kit. He probably plugged that DVD in Now watch all that shit. Attacking the hoop baseline, palming the ball in the air, doing a little hang time. It's too much of a coincidence. He even hit a three and did this. He did the trug, right? That boy was watching Like Mike DVDs. Don't tell me he wasn't. All of these dudes stole a lot of Mike's moves. Kobe stole a bunch of them. Kobe said he had Michael Jordan DVDs in Italy and he would copy the moves. That was his inspiration. He watched the DVDs and he'd go out and mimic the moves. Okay, a little left to right Jordan crossover. Okay. Behind the back. Yeah, every kid wanted to be like Mike. Michael Jordan is the most influential basketball player of all time. Why you think LeBron wears 23 for? That's LeBron's idol. You say he saw Michael Jordan, he saw a black Jesus. He saw the second coming of Jesus. That's how guys feel about Michael Jordan. You know? But Anthony Edwards definitely was talking about don't compare me to Jordan. Stop the comparisons. Motherfucker, you embrace the comparisons. You went watching them DVDs. You copied them moves. You don't naturally get those moves. You copied them. You do a fadeaway jump shot. You copy that from Jordan. You even palming the ball with one hand, doing layups like Jordan. Stop. You know it, mouse ball. You know it. Just keep it above. You don't want to be compared to Jordan, but you copying his moves. You even got the little dang on your arm, the little sleeve. You know that little sleeve Jordan wears on his arm? Anthony Edwards got it. Just keep it above. And he's a good player. He's going to be, if he keeps it up, I don't know if he's ever going to win the championship with Minnesota because it's Minnesota. Nobody going to win a championship with Minnesota. That's just the way it is. Get your ass off that franchise. You know, that's just simple. He want to win the championship, he probably need to go to Miami or something. If I'm Anthony Edwards, I'm taking the first plane out of Minnesota, you know. But then again, if you could win the first championship in Minnesota, you would get so much different fan base, right? Exactly. Jordan talked trash to you while he dominated you. And when the game was over. And even in losses, he still went to the other hand. The competition shook their hand. I'll be back next year. Remember when Kobe lost to the Boston Celtics? They say, Kobe, what you gonna do? I push myself to the limit. It's, what if you hit a wall? I run through the wall. That's what Kobe said. Oh my God, Luka did the trug too. I mean, I guess everybody want that Michael Jordan starter kit, mouse ball. How many DVDs? They've been watching Come Fly With Me? Airtime 23. What else? What's the other DVDs they had? Man, oh, Michael Jordan's Playground. Anthony Edwards was that little kid that Michael Jordan was playing basketball with. He said Space Jam. Kobe made Paul Gasol topping up. That's what Anthony Edwards got to do to Karl Anthony Towns. I don't know if you could win with Karl Anthony Towns as your second option. He disappeared too much. He did left Anthony Edwards hanging. I ain't going to lie. He did left Anthony Edwards hanging. Anthony Edwards showed up for 2 games, but choked the other 2 games. So there's some onus on Anthony Edwards too, because he disappeared for the first 2 games. What it do, Z? But yeah, Shit's about to go down. You get the older generation versus the new. Because the guys like Jimmy Butler, Paul Georges, uh, James Harden, LeBron, Durant, Steph Curry, they almost out the door. They want to win championships before they retire. All right. Then you got the new Bucks, the SGA, the Jokers, the Jason Tatums, the Lucas, the Anthony Edwards, the Victor Wembanyama's. Hey, we got next. We want now. You don't get this in too much eras of basketball. Kawhi Leonard will be on the older side. He with the older guys. You know. Zion Williamson will be on the newer side. No. That's the new generation. That's going to be those guys I just mentioned, the new guys, they're going to be probably the big names for the next 10 years or so. The next decade or so is going to be those guys. But you still got the old Bucks that's still trying to get one more championships to solidify their legacy. Durant want one without Steph. Steph want to get 5 before LeBron. LeBron want to get 5 before Steph. Jimmy Butler want to get one before his time is up. well, ZB, it's only one way to find that out. It's only one way to find out. They're going to be able to go head to head now, and we're going to see who's better. Jason Tatum is a more consistent winner than Luka, though. He just led his team to 60 wins this season alone. He turned that Boston team to a title contenders consistently throughout the regular season. They've been every time you watch basketball, you say, who's going to win the championship? Boston, Milwaukee, Lakers. It's always the same teams that's favorites to win the championship, right? There's a reasons for that because those same guys keep dominating the regular season. Well, Kyrie got traded there. Jason Tatum got drafted to the team, and he built that team from the ground up. So it's not the same situation. Luka had just enough talent. He played with Jalen Brunson's. He had good supporting cast. And if you're that dude, you should have been leading your team to a higher seed anyway because it's the regular season. He walked into winning culture, but the Boston Celtics wasn't winning culture until he got there. All those guys developed together. Bill Russell wasn't walking into that door. Kevin Durant in that door. The West talent to be a top seeded team. All right. I hope I'm not echoing, but the YouTube police be trying to censor me. And because it's the super teams, everybody was pretty much equal. You know, it's a crapshoot in the Western Conference. Just goes to who's playing at the highest level, leading their team to victories. Yeah, that's true. But Luka don't get no free pass. He's underachieved in the regular season. That's why he's not a superstar. But he has a chance to change that. Now, if he wins this year, and All right. I'm back for now, but I'm starting to lag a little bit. I don't know what's going on. Um, internet connection is running down. See, this is the conspiracy, man. LeBron, stop messing up with my internet, bro. Leave me alone, man. I didn't even talk about you today. Leave me alone. He can't be a fifth seed, sixth seed, seventh seed, eighth seed. No under seeded team. You better be a top 5 player in the league. You better win MVP. You better be called the best player in the world if you want to get on this superstar list. And you got to do it consistently. The only reason why you're going to get a jump to superstar label if you win a championship this year and you dominate next year and you're a title contender. You got to make people say Dallas Mavericks going to win the championship next year again. That's what you have to do. Hold on. My modem, everything was steaming hot. I mean, I think maybe it just overheats sometime and it needs to, you know, get fixed. For Nazi Reed. Yo. Hold on. If y'all been wondering what happened to me for the last few days, I was feeling under the weather. That's why you didn't see some videos out. Just haven't been feeling right. You know, it is what it is, man. You know, you just start to feel under the weather. But yeah, the Mavericks. I know a lot of Laker fans don't want to see Celtics win because you guys are competing for like most championships. So you don't want to see that, you know. But Jason Tatum is due. He can't win he can't win a championship. He'd be 0-2 in the NBA Finals. He got to get one. Because they're going to be title favorites again next year, probably. They play in the Eastern Conference. So how many years he going to keep going without a championship? Ask yourself that. So, yeah. One of the things I noticed when you compare in LA to New York, LA is such a, what's the best word for it? It's a lonely city. It's a lot of people, but everybody's in their own little world. Nobody hangs out with each other too much. They're not as social as New Yorkers. And that rubs me the wrong way a little bit sometimes. Not that I want to talk to people all the time, being a New Yorker. Sometimes we like our peace and quiet. But we do like talking to the people that's in our crew, right? And LA is just like one of those, it's just a weird city sometimes, man. And downtown is trying to be like a wannabe version of Manhattan. But you got a lot of these old buildings that some of these homeless people try to occupy. You got places like Skid Road that, oh my God, Skid Road is like a planet of its own, you know. But LA's a very weird place, man. It's definitely a very weird place, you know. But with that being said, if you go to New York, Philippines, Los Angeles, I'm your boy. International P, right? And yes, I'll be going back to the Philippines pretty soon. Y'all see the blogs again, hanging out in the Philippines. My house should be done, you know, chilling. But back to the NBA. I got Dallas Mavericks. This is going to be my receipt. I got Dallas Mavericks in 6 games, right? So, yeah. But these older generation players, Octavia said they should retire. Kawhi, I say, should retire because he barely plays. Steph Curry's still looking for 5. LeBron's still looking for 5. But if anybody got to retire, I would say it's probably LeBron, Kawhi Leonard, and Kevin Durant. I mean, you can't tell somebody not to do something. But if I was those guys, I would think about retiring. Because if I'm not competing for championships no more and I was a superstar, I'm a big name player, but I can't dominate or compete at the same level that I used to, I may not want to be playing basketball no more. What's the point of playing basketball, putting up empty numbers, and then saying, man, these numbers used to actually matter. I used to actually compete for a title. Now I'm just competing for numbers, and I can't win. I can't place myself in position to win a championship no more. You know, it's hard to give up that spotlight, especially for guys like a Kevin Durant, a LeBron James, you know. But out of all those players, Steph Curry still should play. He probably still got some playing to do. But Paul George, what, you pushing 35, 36? No team wants to give you the max. You're kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. If you can't win in Los Angeles playing on the Clippers, where can you win? Because no other team is going to pay top dollar for you because you're a little long in the tooth. Those legs got a couple mileage on them that teams don't want. You see what happened to Jimmy Butler? Guys don't want to pay him the max. But Jimmy Butler, you've been in the league for years now. You never elevated. One, you're not a superstar. You can't bring us. You can't bring us a title. So what we want with you? A lot of these guys got to give that some serious thought. Where are we going with these players? Right? If you got a Jimmy Butler on your team, what can he do right now to help lift your team to win a title? The LeBrons, Kevin Durant's, Steph Curry's, Kawhi's. You're looking for a bag that may not be there because teams don't want to give you the bag. They'd rather give it to a young player that they could invest in, and he could give us chances of winning a championship more than you can. That's what they're looking at. That's what's going through their mind. Like, why I'm giving this to you? No. If you're LeBron James, you should be thinking about retirement. You're just going to take the Lakers, bankrupt the Lakers, get $50 million, put people in the seats, but not win? Can LeBron James ask themselves, am I still competing for a title? If I'm not competing for a title, I should probably think about calling it quits and retiring. That's just how I had it. Yeah, LeBron messed up my stream. He said, take that. Take that. Take that. No Diddy. Feel like I'm in the Philippines because my screen is lagging. When I'm overseas, that's what happens. But yeah, as you can see, I still got a cough, still feeling under the weather a little bit. Just got to get it out the chest. Got to pump that shit out. Yeah, YouTube don't like the truth. YouTube has a real big problem with certain creators, especially well, YouTube is now being hogged by the sports stars. Paul George got a podcast, Draymond Green got a podcast, LeBron got a podcast. These are people that an average YouTuber have to compete with now. Right? We have to compete with professional basketball players. Instead of doing their job, going out and playing basketball, they want to be on social media. They want attention from social media. Don't you make enough money that you don't be needing a podcast? You're a millionaire. Why are you trying to get millions off YouTube for? That's narcissist behavior. You need your voice to be heard so much that you have to make your own live stream. You want to move the narrative so much because you can't take people criticizing you. You have to, oh, I got to change the narrative. Let me start my own podcast. Screaming A spit. Yeah, I mean, he probably do. Anthony Edwards may be the guy to bring in a lot of dollars for the NBA. But that still remains to be seen. We don't know what Anthony Edwards is going to do. If somebody else is going to steal his spotlight. Anthony Edwards still got to compete. He ain't going to be the face of the league for free. Somebody may try to take it from him. Yeah. Why are you doing podcasting? Should you be working on your game? Proving everybody else wrong that do criticize you? Let it make sense. Now, if you're a retired basketball player, like Melo got his own podcast, fine. He don't play basketball no more. Go ahead. You want to do social media for a pastime because you're retired? Fine. But if you're playing basketball currently, why are you focusing on what people say about you? Yo, Z, what up?
Yo,
What up, man?
just got food.
You just got food? Hey, man. Who you got for the NBA Finals?
Remember our bet?
Who you got for the NBA Finals?
Did you not forget our bet?
Huh?
Do you remember? Do you not remember our bet?
Oh, that's right. That's right. You said if the Celtics made it to the NBA Finals, right?
I said if they win.
Oh, if they win. Okay.
You have to make a video saying, I want to give a shout out to me for being right, and you have to tag my channel in it.
Okay.
Yeah, you agreed to it. Dude, your internet's whack.
You can do that. They got to win. They got to win though. You don't get credit. I don't know what's going on, man. They're trying to stop me from They're trying to stop me from talking, Z. But yeah, I don't celebrate guys just going to the finals. Where they do that at? I mean, like the whole goal is to win the championship. I don't talk about second place or third place. That's like me buying. That's like me buying a lotto ticket, and I'm one number off to winning millions of dollars. I still lost.
Is Porzingis playing?
Yeah, he should be playing. No. He said, "Is Anthony?" Mouseball said, "Anthony Edwards is stopping up my screen." So yeah,
Mike Tyson fight got postponed.
yeah, because he got injured. You seen Deontay Wilder get hurt? Well, he didn't get hurt. He got hurt because he got knocked out. But he should retire too. I think next week, not this week, but next week is going to be the Tank Davis fight. Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. That's a good fight that you should watch.
Are you streaming it?
Yeah, I'll be screaming that. You know, I would have screamed the Deontay Wilder fight, but some of these fights come on like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, LA time. I'm not doing that. You got that right, man. You got it right. But yeah.
Celtics are gonna win, right?
I don't know. We got to find out. They're gonna have to. Dallas is nothing to underestimate. I think we've been doing a lot of underestimating Dallas. It's probably time to start giving them some credit.
White and Holiday are good.
It's a 50-50. I don't see no team with a serious advantage over each other. Whoever gets hot, whoever outplays who.
Porzingis is going to be the X factor.
Can Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown outplay Kyrie Irving and Luka? That's what's going to happen. That's what needs to happen.
And Derek White and Holiday and Porzingis and Horford.
Well, those are the supporting cast, but it all starts with your key players. If those guys don't show up, they disappear. Those other guys is not going to carry them to victory. They're just going to be like, hey, what happened to the superstars? They didn't show up.
Derek White had 33 points in game 2 and whatever the other game was.
Okay. He's not the franchise player, though. So if the franchise player don't show up, they don't win. It starts and ends with your franchise player.
Sometimes your role players can have bad games, but those other players pick up the slack. That's what happens.
That's why they call role players. Because another role player picks up your slack. But a role player could play to the best of his ability. But if the stars don't show up, you're screwed. But a role players could play bad. But if the stars close it out, play just good enough, you could win the game by the skin of your tooth. But if your stars don't show up, you have no chance of winning.
All right, so I asked you a question. I said, in 2021, if the Nets had stayed with that team, would they have won?
If the Nets had stayed with the team that they have, you mean the Three Stooges?
Yeah, remember in 2021 they got traded at the deadline or whatever?
Yeah.
So if they had continued the season, where would they be?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the games have to be played. They'd be there to compete, yeah. But
there was a stat that when all three were together, they were like 22-6.
Yeah. Talking about,
dude, your shit is freezing, man.
Man,
dude, I can't hear you. Your shit's freezing.
Yeah, man. It's just I may just have to log off, man, because this thing is just going crazy.
You better call your internet provider.
Man, to tell LeBron James stop cutting off my internet.
My other question is, if Team USA doesn't win gold medal,
Right.
is that a huge disappointment?
Oh yeah, that'd be a huge disappointment. But the league is going very Euro anyway. This year's draft got like 7 players from France in it. Some of the best
Giannis
players in the
announced he's playing for Greece.
yeah, the best players in the world are in the NBA are from foreign countries. We call the Joker the best player in the league, right? He's from another
So
country.
when USA lost in 2006, why did people make a documentary on it?
Because 2006, the Euro League didn't caught up like it caught up now. Now it's a complete different story. The best players in the world are pretty much foreign players.
Why is this draft class so weak? Like, is there no good players?
I mean, you can't say a draft class is weak until you actually see the guys play. Some of them may become stars. Who knows? It's just no marquee names. It's just no marquee names. That's all. You know.
Dude, Michael Jordan did have a son, Marcus Jordan.
Huh?
Marcus Jordan is Jordan's son.
Yeah, he is.
Did he ever play?
No, not in the NBA. Look, Jordan already got a bunch of sons in the NBA, man.
Who are
According to
Dude, that doesn't count.
You remember the videos? It's Jordan, Jimmy Butler's dad. And, oh my God, it's a lot of conspiracies.
So,
she said, Anthony Edwards is Luca's son. He's Luca's adopted son. Oh boy,
dude, there was this viral stream on YouTube where these guys were playing Apex Legends, right?
Yeah.
And Luca was in the lobby and he was talking to him.
Right.
Like it was actually him.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was in 2022. And it just sounded exactly like him, and the way he talked, his accent, and it went viral.
Okay. But man, we got to see how it do. Kyrie want rank number 2. You know, Luca won the first one. Jason Tatum wants the first one. It's going to be quite interesting. But this may be the lowest rated NBA Finals of all time. It may give last year's championship a run for its money. I don't think a lot of people would tune in to watch this year's NBA Finals. So, but I could be wrong.
I'm excited for JJ Redick to be coaching the Lakers.
He's in here. He's outside. He just went outside.
He'd be fired halfway through the season. All right, y'all. We about to end this because this is just very problematic. I don't know what's going on with the internet. It's acting up. So I'm about to end this off, though. Y'all have a good one. Mouse Ball, Zach, the other Zach, everybody. Peace. Y'all have a good one, y'all. One.